All right. Here we go. All right. The three elements of service connection. And what we're talking about are disability claims, right? Disability claims that you file with the Department of Veterans Affairs, right? VA claims, as they're often referred to. And what we're going to discuss here is the three elements of service connection. Now, understanding this can help you file all of your claims going forward, and it can help you to help those around you to kind of understand the claims process a little better also. Right? And this is provided to you by the Carter Hughes Knowledge Institute.com. We have a few other different valuable tools on the website. We have a checklist that you can keep track of your claims on the website as well, and additional videos just sharing information. All right. That's all this is about, just sharing information, hoping to break things down in simple forms. We can pass them along to you, and then you can take them, pass them along to other people, right? And everybody just gets more informed through this process. All right, so let's get right into it. Three elements. It's only three elements. That's it. Three elements. And this is how they check to make sure your claim is going to be accepted, or, the other thing. All right. And those three elements of service connection are number one is that in-service event. And that's something that happened while you were on active duty. All right, that's what an in-service event is. An event that happened in service, right? So if you got a medical diagnosis while you were in service, that is an in-service event. If you had some kind of fight at a bar, police report, that's documentation of the event. All right, if you were marching along and you fell, hurt your knee, went to the doctor, that doctor visit referring to that fall is the in-service event, right? So that's one element of service connection, once again, is the in-service event. Number two, the second element of service connection would be a current medical diagnosis, right? And it's just medical documentation showing the current diagnosis for the ailment that you say is related to your military service. All right, and that's just, once again, current medical diagnosis. You want to have it within the last 30 days if you can. If it's within the past year, that could work as well. But you want to have a medical diagnosis, right? And that's not speaking to the symptom, not my back hurts or lower back pain. You want to have an actual diagnosis, right? Degenerative disc disease, osteoarthritis. Same thing with the knees. It just can't be swelling or aching. You want to have a condition. Osteoarthritis, I believe, is one for the knees. But once again, you want to make sure you get a medical diagnosis, all right? An official medical diagnosis. So that's element number two. The third element, number three, is the nexus link between the current medical diagnosis and the in-service event, right? Two things, the connector, that's the nexus, all right? That link between the two. And the nexus can be time. Say you separated within the past year, you got hurt in service, and now you're still hurting. Go to the doctor, get that current medical diagnosis, get your records, put that together with the current medical diagnosis, and that's what will get you accepted for that service connection. That shows that it's connected to your service. All right, so that third element, once again, is that nexus, the link between the two elements, the current medical diagnosis and the in-service event. This nexus can be time, or it could be medical records showing that you consistently went to the doctor. Let's say you separated 10 years ago, right? Separated 10 years ago, had a knee injury in the service. If you can show that over the past 10 years, you consistently went to the doctor for that knee issue, that will serve as your nexus, as your link between the two, all right? So that's how it's done. Those are the three elements of service connection. Once again, that in-service event is number one. Number two is a current medical diagnosis. And number three is that nexus, that link between the two elements. And these are just some examples of what acceptable evidence would be for each element. All right. Once again, more tools to kind of help you. Keep this in mind as you create your claim. In-service event, examples of acceptable evidence would be medical diagnosis of a condition while you were active duty. That documented report as well of the event, a fall that took place, a fight. If there's something else, some kind of harassment or whatever the case, you want to have documented evidence. In the absence of documented evidence, you're going to need testimony from somebody who served with you. All right. that would be one of the more effective, more preferable ways to kind of prove that in-service event in the absence of documentation, a documented report or medical diagnosis. For the medical diagnosis, acceptable evidence would be medical records showing a current medical diagnosis. And keep in mind that the symptoms do not count as a diagnosis. All right, so don't get tripped up by that. Keep your eyes open for that one. Sometimes the doctors will say, hey, I put it in there. You want a medical diagnosis. All right, so just keep that in mind to give yourself the best chance for that approval. And then the nexus link between the two, acceptable evidence for your nexus would be those medical records showing that you've been going to the doctor for that ailment, right? Once again, the situation where you separated 5, 10, 15 years ago from the service. You want to show that over that time period, you've been going to the doctor seeking treatment for that condition, right? Showing that it's connected to service and you've been consistently dealing with that same issue. All right, medical records or a short period of time between separation and filing the claim. If you file within 1 year, they will just assume that those things are connected. All right, so keep that in mind as well. Anyone you know separating, you file that claim within 1 year, right, and you don't have to prove the nexus. They just assume that it's connected to your service. All right, another tip for you to keep in mind. All right, and that's the acceptable evidence. So there we go, the 3 elements, examples of some acceptable evidence of those elements, right? And that's it. Try to keep it under 8 minutes or so. If you have additional questions, you can go to the site and look for more tips, check out more resources. You also have that disability claim checklist that you can print out and take with you, right? So next time you go see your rep or whatever, you'll be a little more squared away. All right. And leave feedback as well. If there's anything else that you want to learn about, hear about, just let me know. Let it be known. Go to the site, submit some feedback. All right. Hopefully this helped you. Once again, the 3 elements of service connection. Carter Hughes Knowledge Institute, just sharing knowledge, hoping that folks can be more informed as they go forward and pass that knowledge along to anyone else that they believe it can help. All right. That's it, man. Have a beautiful day. I'm on the wrong computer.